here.
I'm gonna have to cut it out at least, but I'm still having to keep the closing part of it in. But can I keep this part in where we talk about the fact that you said it and that we cut it out?
Sure, go ahead.
Rock
It's already
on.
it already happened. I can't say no.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We're back with week 3 of our 30-day challenge, and it's totally a whole new week and not like half a minute after. Will the real Radiant please stand up?
Another t-shirt change?
Yep.
Damn.
So we're moving on to day 15, stage clear / victory music. So this one I already kind of had in my head. I decided to pick Fanfare 1 from Chrono Trigger. This is one of those songs you're going to hear a lot. It's a very big victory theme. It'll often play like outside of battle at certain story bits. It's a short song, but played on a loop, it still works really well. It's super triumphant, and it really, because it follows you, it really feels like you've done something, which I think is neat, like walking around the area with the theme in the back. I think it hits that very nice RPG, you win kind of thing, or you are victorious feeling, better than I feel like a lot of other RPGs do. I think it's just a really good victory theme.
Yeah. I don't really have too much more to add.
That was the hardest part. I was like, well, what do I write about a song that's 39 seconds long? I don't know. But like within the context of a lot of the story beats, it's just you play Chrono Trigger, you go through those wins, you hear that music come on, you're like, I did it. I did something.
It. Hell yeah.
But I think that was just kind of the most important thing I wanted to do, so that's why I put it on here. What is your pick?
So mine is eerily close / similar to yours. So mine is Victory from Romancing Saga 2. So after every battle, you hear the song, but if you finish the dungeon and you defeated all the enemies, the song also plays throughout the whole dungeon until you leave it.
That's cool.
And I really like it. I like how it's kind of simple, but still also it's like, hell yeah, we did it. And the little added bonus that you hear it as you like start to leave the dungeon. I feel like that really adds to it.
I think it's always really cool when you have the victory theme on the overworld. It really gives you that sense of you actually accomplishing something more than just winning a battle, which I think is really big.
Mm-hmm. This game is extremely big brain for me. Really? It's a game that's a 2 ahead of its time back in the 90s. It's a game where it's about... I don't know how you describe it, to be honest. It's an RPG, and every time you die, you don't just game over. You have a new character you play as, so kind of, I guess, he has like a roguelike. He has the same abilities, or most of your abilities, he inherits from you, but certain events will then end. So, for example, if you were going to a place to stop somebody, but then you die, that person is victorious, or the enemy is victorious, so therefore that kind of plot line ends. And now you have to play as a new event where something else is happening because of that. It's a very in-depth game.
That's neat. I think I've heard of the game, but I don't think I played it. What console is it for?
It's from the SNES, but it's Japanese only.
Fuck.
Unless you want to pay whatever the amount is on Steam for the quote-unquote HD remake, which is basically just a phone game that's been upscaled.
Sham.
But that's the only way to play the game in English.
Wait, do they not have Romancing Saga 1?
No, they haven't done that game, but that game is translated, thankfully.
Oh.
That game is even more bigger brain. It's a open world RPG on the SNES.
What the fuck?
And it sure as fuck feels like it. You have zero idea where you're going. And a lot of plot lines just kind of start and then stop, and you're just like, oh, okay.
The boss design is really rocking, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good game to play if you're willing to spend the money on the on it. but then it's like, am I gonna pay that much for a phone game that's been upscaled to Steam?
Well, you
I
can
don't know.
always wait until on Steam, like the Steam summer sale, where it is 70% off and only $7.
$7, I can recommend that. Then $7 is definitely worth it. But if I think the game is like $30, it ain't worth $30. That's
Gotcha.
way too much.
Gorch.
But yeah, I highly rate that game. Really good in-depth game.
Game.
All
right, well then I'll have you move us on to the next day, which is day 16, 16-bit music.
Okay, then.
So I will say before we start, sorry, I wanted to interject this. I like that both of us for our previous day also had games that could be 16-bit. Into more 16-bit. I think that was funny.
That is pretty funny. Okay, then. So my choice is Disturbance in Orchestra, or Chapter 2 from Genealogy of the Holy War. So this song plays after a lot of somewhat big events happen story-wise, and I would say it's the first chapter where it starts to become like a downfall for the main character for Gen 1, Sigurd. And you can definitely hear that in the song where it starts off slow, then it's like you're trying to build yourself up like morale-wise, because some really weird shit's starting to happen. I don't want to spoil it too much just because when I plan to stream on that game sometime, and you haven't played it yet, and the story is super good, so I don't want to spoil it. But your friend from a different nation is like really upset at you. You are being told that you are like an enemy despite not being an aggressor when you're trying to defend somebody from an attack. And I think the song just does a super good job of just putting that all together and you just hear this throughout the whole chapter, and I love it.
I really like it. It's got you get a lot of emotion from that, on how it moves and how big it is near the end here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 130 as it kind of explodes back in.
Yeah, it was a toss-up between this game or Chapter 3, which I will send, because they are both super good for different reasons. I won't describe Chapter 3, but just hear the song and tell me what you think Chapter 3 is about, just from this song alone.
It seems like you're traveling somewhere.
Yeah, you're definitely traveling.
It sounds like you're pushing in advance, I guess, is probably the best way I could put it. Everything feels very triumphant, it kind of ramping up here. Wait.
So
it's moving down. Uh-oh. Okay, and we're back to the start.
Yes. So you're kind of close. Again, the spoils, but you're kind of close.
Okay.
You are advancing, but there's a reason why the song kind of slows down. Very good reason.
Okay.
I'm excited to stream that game once I finish J2. And then, well, the next game after J2 is going to be another visual novel. I talked about that. It's only like 2 hours.
Okay.
And then I'll play this game.
Rock on.
Super excited for that. But enough about that. How about you?
Okay, so for me, I was like, initially it was going to be an SNES song, but I need to give the Genesis some love. So I picked a game from Sonic 2. I picked Casino Night Zone. So the reason I picked Casino Night Zone is, I think out of a lot of Sonic songs, this is kind of one of the first songs I kind of think about. I think Casino Night Zone is one of those zones that's so evocative, it's so unique. And I think this sound really kind of hits a lot of those like earlier casino-y type games really well. So when I hear it, I'm kind of immediately taken back to the zone. Mm-hmm. I think it's just really catchy, pretty simple, but like in a good way. It's kind of fun and peppy, but like because it kind of stays a little low, you're not like too taken aback because you're still making your way through the zone and it's still a hostile area.
Yeah. It's a good pick. Yeah. If I wasn't like immediately just like thinking about Genealogy of the Holy War, I probably would have been a Sonic game. But at the same time, I did pick Sonic Mania, so I kind of didn't want to pick another Sonic game.
You know, fair.
But that's just me being me.
But yeah, I don't have too much more to say. What's this? A definitive way to play Sonic 3 and more.
No, it's the third one.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So true, Oomphy. Don't worry.
So...
I got Sonic the Hedgehog 1 as my buyer rent. But that's about all I have to say for it. I think it's a really good song. It matches the theme super perfectly, and I think it's one of the more memorable tracks from the game.
Definitely.
So I guess with that, I will move us on to days 17. I almost said 27. I would have time warped. So the next theme is Sky Area music, and I kind of immediately thought of a few things, but I think the one I thought was most important was Cloud Top Cruise. It is technically a remix of some Mario Galaxy music, but like it's also done in the excellent live performance music of Mario Kart 8, which nothing but bangers. So getting to hear the live instruments, the trumpets right at the beginning, it really makes it feel very adventurous because you're not just like in the sky. You're on clouds. You're bouncing on weird cloudy drum things. You're also going onto an airship and into a cool electrical tunnel. And I believe the song even changes a little bit when you go into that tunnel. I think the link I have has a playlist where you can hear the part where you're in the thundercloud. And I think that's really neat. It really does have that nice adventurous flow that Galaxy has, this grand space adventure feel, which I think for a stage that's really going for that, I think it works really well with it.
I will say, Mario Kart 8 music is so good.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite song is the Hyrule Circuit.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it definitely is. I like the song a lot. It definitely gives you a very energetic, like, kind of like a sky music. Obviously sky music, but like a ship music of just like you're just traveling and you're going somewhere, but you're going at a really fast pace and you're excited to see what happens next.
And I think that really works because you do go on an airship. So it's like you have the cloud adventure, then you're on the airship, and since you're moving it throughout, you're constantly going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I picked this one. I thought it really worked. Like if I was thinking of Mario themes, I think this is my preferred pick for this section.
That was definitely a great choice. I love that.
But I don't think I have much more. Just a really good, just got a large sound. I will give the floor to you then for your day 17 pick. Oh, we got two more.
Yes. So I was going to obviously choose the first one, but I moved some songs around and I need a new song for Sky Area music. So I chose a song. So this is Sky Temple from Super Mario and the Cursed Castle. This is technically not a game, it's a ROM hack, but the music was done by I don't think a professional, but definitely like someone who knows what they're doing composer. I guess you call it a freelance artist. And I really like the game, whole soundtrack, full of bangers, and I really love this song. I love how it's not very completely open, but it still definitely has a freedom vibe of it. But you're still somewhat enclosed just because you are going from like platform to platforms around a castle, I believe is how it is. And it's just very nice.
I think I feel it. I feel the very sky-y kind of nature to this.
Mm-hmm.
Those, I think maybe it's the trumpets. I don't know.
It could be.
I think the trumpets, for some reason, really are evocative of that when they're kind of in a line.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like it evokes themes of like some kind of like hierarchical like royalty kind of thing. And with the sky being above us, it's like Oh, that's where all the important shit is. So hearing a lot of those horns might be that.
Potentially.
I think that was a good pick.
Thank you.
So what about this first pick? This was...
So you hear this song quite a bit.
Oh, Skies of Arcadia. Okay.
Another one, and I chose it last time, so I didn't want to choose it again. Moving songs around. So this is a song that you hear a good amount when you're in areas that are close towards towns. I believe this song starts to play, and I like it a lot. And Skies of Arcadia, super good game. Again, gonna say it again. Soundtrack, super good. And that was the reason I chose this song for Skyrim music. Like, it was basically made to be. You're in a ship for the majority of the game, but I had to move some songs around, so I chose Sky Temple. But this song is still super good, and I love
it. Definitely hits that adventurous sky theme very well. Skies of Arcadia is one of those games I hear is really good, and I just haven't sit down and play it myself.
I highly recommend that you do. Not the GameCube version.
I was gonna say I think they only have the GameCube version at my local store. I'm gonna have to buy a whole Dreamcast.
Despair.
I mean, I could emulate it, but I would low-key kind of want to play it on the system. I'd love to own a Dreamcast.
So you can also play the GameCube version. It has some additional content.
But I hear the load times are like garbage on it.
Well, that's sad, but there's an even bigger issue. The music, for some reason, is compressed on the GameCube. Bruh. It does not sound nearly as good as it does in the Dreamcast, and I don't know why. There's no reason for that to happen. It just is. And the music in this game is just so beautiful that you can't hear like that.
That is an uber bra momento. Where is my Steam port?
True. I wish the creators said that they would be interested in either a sequel or a remaster of this game, but it's up to Sega or some other companies to actually give it the go ahead.
Yeah. Also,
at around 2:10, if you're listening, start to hear some drums or get some bongos.
At 2:10 was it? Let me pull.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there it is.
And it's like that little mix-up you hear.
I like the addition of drums. I think one of my favorite additions to drums in music is in Mario World. Whenever you get on Yoshi and they add the drums, you're just like, oh shit.
True.
Super small addition, but that's cool.
You noticed them.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I was able to choose this song. Not that the other one was bad, but I think this one is kind of better, but it is what it is.
True.
I was so happy that I was at least able to present the song just because I kept it in as a added bonus.
We love added bonuses here.
True.
All right, well then let us move on to day 18, arcade game music. And I just want to say, I'm glad I wasn't the only one to put Sonic the Fighters in the list. I didn't put it for this day, but I'm glad to see it. So tell us about it.
Okay. So this game, kind of jank, not gonna lie.
Low-key.
High-key. There's, I'm sure you know about it, but there's a comeback mechanic very similar to Smash 4 and Ultimate. The community calls it catch-up. And I think it's if you're at 80% or 20% HP, your damage scales up to 1.5 or even 2%.
Holy crap.
More. And so you can have some kind of low tier characters. Bark, he's just very slow, not very good. But once he hits that very low HP threshold, he can just literally one-shot you.
That's crazy.
It's just a simple punch grab. It will literally do 65%.
What the fuck?
It's insane.
Kazuya Mishima.
Exactly. Well, so the game is jank.
Yeah.
The music, so goddamn good. I love the OST.
Fucking slaps.
I was thinking about arcade games because I played a good amount of arcade games when I was younger. Through emulation and actually playing the actual cabinets, and I didn't play this game as a kid, obviously, but I played on the GameCube re-release, and like the music is so good, and for why this song specifically, I just like the kind of overall themes that it gives off. Where it's a very kind of like a serious fight, but still energetic, and that you're ready to you're ready to fight somebody, and it's a serious kind of fight. It's so kind of happy in a way.
I like the piano in the back and parts. I think it's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I was also debating on possibly doing Sonic R, but then I was like, Sonic R has that place in my heart where I go, I know that there's a version without the lyrics. I fucking love the lyrics. But
I'm pretty sure it's widely agreed upon that the lyrics are better at this point.
Yeah, but we'll be seeing more Sonic R from my side a little later.
Mm-hmm.
Or not Sonic R, Sonic the Fighters.
Damn, we got a repeat Shambles.
Not a repeat between on our own list though.
I suppose.
But I will take
What
the
did
reins.
you pick?
So I picked Battletoads the arcade. So it's notable that the arcade is a bit different than the regular Battletoads for the NES. The music is also done by David Wise, who I mentioned earlier. This is the Dark Queen's Battleship. So it's funny because later on we have a theme that is industrial. But this is also industrial. I initially heard this song a long time ago during Proton John's Battletoads race that he did with a few other people. He was throwing in kind of music in parts since they didn't have the audio from like most of them. So it was just kind of having a background track. This is one of those. Immediately when I listened to the song, when I was looking like, which song do I want to put here? I went, is this fucking David Wise? And I looked it up and sure as shit. And I only really thought that because the way the industrial instruments hit and how that synth moves through the song, I'm like, that's gotta be him. I don't think I've ever heard another man do this. So I think what I really like about this song is it's super smooth. The industrial beat is there, but it never feels like I'm being overbeared with it. Like, it's really forcing it. It kind of rocks to its own groove, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, I personally didn't know this game because I know about the NES version and the SNES game. Imagine it's an arcade one. This is the first time I remember like hearing the soundtrack in general, and I really like it.
Yeah, you can actually play this if you have the rare replay. It is one of the games included in there. I don't know if it's on PC. I'm looking it up now, but I think it's just for Xbox.
I'm pretty sure it's just for Xbox.
I'm big shambles. But like that is like one of the best kind of like compilation things ever because you get like Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, a bunch of like older NES stuff, Battletoads, the arcade Battletoads. Yeah, and I think this was one of the more memorable ones that I remember hearing. It's just like you're like kind of ready to do shit. You feel like you're ready to fight, but it's never like on like a hurry up, which I think for a beat 'em up, which isn't going too fast, I think is really good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's super good.
But I will move on from that as we go on to day 19, music using samples or inspired by other songs. So for me, I was kind of having a hard time because like, what do you mean samples of other songs or inspired by other songs? Because I mean, using those words, I kind of think of a lot. So I thought I would go with something I thought was the most sense, and I went with Deltarune Chapter 2's Big Shot. I think you can kind of be up or down with the song depending on how you feel. But I think for a song that is very inspired by other music, especially from music that Toby Fox has already made, I think this kind of checks like all of those boxes. There is mixes of themes from Undertale, some ones from Deltarune Chapter 1 that get mixed in within this, as well as being a prior part to the song. What is it? Is it Wanna Make a Deal? I want to say it's Wanna Make a Deal. It's Spamton's initial fight song. I'm looking for it. God, it was really... There's so many... Now's your chance to be a big shot. That's just what it's called. It's a much more upbeat version of that, but you'll also hear the various parts of the other songs that he's previously done in here. I think one of the more noticeable ones is the Chapter 1 hidden boss, because this is a hidden boss fight. The Chapter 1 hidden boss was The World Revolving was the song. Okay, I'm here. It's 55 seconds in. You'll hear here.
Yeah.
So it'll introduce those and kind of push it in and out and mix it in with a few other songs, which I think was really neat. Playing this boss fight, very hype song, kind of in the moment, and I think it's cool when you notice those motifs just kind of in there, and that's kind of why I picked it here.
So, we're talking at the first episode about context.
Yep.
And why that can be really, really important when it comes to games, musics.
Yep.
So this is a big part of that right now, how I'm feeling. I played Undertale once, thought it was just okay, kind of overhyped, but it was okay. I never played Deltarune Chapter 1 or Chapter 2. So, as a fan of this game, or I guess you could say more broadly, Toby's music, you can understand the different types of references it's making. I don't know any of the references. I never played the game. First time I'm hearing this music.
Yep.
And like from my perspective, it feels like white noise almost. It feels like it's a huge mishmash of things, and I don't get it.
I think
because I've never played the games.
And it's the funny thing, because thematically, it kind of makes sense that it's kind of a jumble of mess that's all kind of pushing on you. It's kind of hard to say without like spoilers for it. So it's more of just, yeah, given kind of the overall setting and the character in question, it makes sense. It makes sense.
I guess it does make sense. I couldn't say that.
Some of it, we're still like, we haven't gotten the full game, so it's kind of hard to say. But I think it's interesting, the introduction of those motifs and the constant kind of hammering of that noise into you. Some of the things like the audible laughter that's in the song. Some of it kind of fits in with initial stuff set up. Other parts has this questioning more. Yeah, but at least as someone who played through it, a very catchy boss song, and it was just kind of cool poking holes into just where some of that stuff came from. But we will move on to your pick.
So this is a very odd choice, I would say. So this is not from a game. This is a CD that was released in the mid 80s. So it was two parts: side A and side B. Side A was I forget the full name. It's like Nazo no something. And then the second part was Zelda. So what
Nazo no
this whole
Murasame Jo.
Yeah, it was another top-down action game, but it's more action than Zelda was. And so how this fits in is because it uses the original backtrack, or I guess just the whole song in general, and then built like on top of that. And I think it does such a good job as almost like a official remix, in a way, because it was like officially licensed product that you could buy. And I just really love the remix.
It's got a very like heavier feel that I'm not used to Hyrule Field having as much of, but I kind of like it.
I love the guitar that starts coming out at 120.
Oh, like we're back on the beat at 133.
And so I love this song.
There's some horns. Ooh. I think this really builds up a lot of what the original song is and gives us this grander tone. I think that's a very good pick.
And later into the song, I believe it starts pulling up around the 210 mark. It starts to play the dungeon theme as well. And I like that. It like keeps switching And then towards the end, like the last like 30 seconds, it goes into a really fast song. And I love this song a lot. It's technically not a game, but it uses a song from a game, and it's official. So
Yeah.
I figured it kind of counts overall.
I think it makes sense.
But that is it for me.
All right, then we will move on to day 20, music from an Sega exclusive game. And you have two choices.
Those.
Is that fucking Dragon Force? Not that one.
No, it's not Dragon Force. It is Dragon Force.
Damn.
So this is Snowland from Dragon Force. This Dragon Force is a game on the Sega Saturn. It plays somewhat similar to Ogre Battle, where you are at the top-down view of a big map and you're controlling units and you're trying to take over objectives. There's like 6 characters or 8 characters that you can play as, and the music is so good. I love the synth backtrack that you hear as it's going on. And it gives a different vibe of a general snow thing. When you think of snow, it's kind of like slow, kind of peaceful in a way, maybe even a little bit dead at some points. Because this is very energetic, but still not quite there to like be in your face. Very chill, and I love that.
It's got those sample. I don't know if those are vocals, like the kind of things in the back. I don't know if that caught in the mic. It does have that like icy theme that I feel like a lot of those like 16-bit songs have when it comes to ice songs.
Yeah. Actually, it's 32-bit.
32, true.
But this is a game that I really wish I could spend more time playing, because it's such a fun game. The battle is that you have one like leader, and you have I think it's up to like 50 like smaller units that you control in that one unit, and those can be like cavalier, they can be swordsmen, mages, archers, a bunch of different classes, and you have to give direct orders for them. So like defend, attack only like one side. It's a very, very unique game, and the soundtrack is so good. That's all I can really say about it. It's really catchy.
So what about the first choice then? It's Phantasy Star Online again. Okay, I see why.
So this is my first Sega exclusive Phantasy Star Online. Pretty like easy, right?
Yeah.
So this is Image of Hero, and this is the song that I hear when you are creating your character. And I like the song a whole lot. I like how it's once again not too much into your face. It's very much so background music, but it's so damn catchy. I love the backtrack so much. You basically just have to like bob your head towards it as you are making the character.
I was unintentionally doing that right as it started.
It's so damn catchy. And this was my first pick, obviously, but I'm moving stuff around, and so I was like, wait, Dragon Force, that OC fucking slaps. So I picked that one, but I kept this song, and just to have there.
Both good picks.
And I love how like 1 minute it kind of like starts to pick up. Okay. How about you?
Wait, I'm listening to the pickup.
Oh
yeah. It's really fucking with that synth.
It is. Phantasy Star Online, so good soundtrack. I recommend just listening to the whole thing. It's so good.
And brings it back down. Very nice, very nice.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I picked Sonic the Fighters. We're back. So I picked Supersonic or Everything. There is a Smash Remix version of the song, and it goes kind of hard. So why did I pick this song? So thinking of like Sonic, like Sega specific songs, I was like, if I pick a Sonic song, I don't want to pick another like mainline series game. And I went, Sonic the Fighter's OST slaps for like no reason, but it's a Sonic game, so like they always look. I can trust Sonic the Hedgehog to do one thing, and that's to make a song that it fucking slaps. And this feels like, it almost feels like the Mortal Kombat song. It's so upbeat and gets you ready to kick ass. I think it works really well. I love that lower note, the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. It's just like, there's a lot of stuff that builds up to this song to just be so cool.
Yeah, the whole soundtrack is good. I could have picked any number of songs from this game, but it's kind of somewhat disappointing that we both picked the same game. We do at least pick different songs from the game.
That's true.
So it's not the worst.
But if we were gonna pick Sonic R, like, because I was also thinking about doing Sonic R, there are so many Sonic R songs that I'm like, I don't know which one to pick. For me, it's either Can You Feel the Sunshine or Living in the City. They're both really good. So I'm gonna send you this. I'll send you Can You Feel the Sunshine, because that's like iconic. It is.
Yeah, everybody knows that song.
It's like 300 years long because all the vocal ones are. Living in the City's really good. Whenever I hear this song now, though, I think of Radical Soda. He uses this as his video intros a lot. I don't know. Is this the one with the vocals? Yeah, this is the vocal one. But there's a lot of good just vocals tracks from this song, which I think is different. And all this does is just make me want another Sonic R.
Sonic Transform Racing.
No, and also don't include Sonic Team Racing because it used the same R. I want Sonic and friends on their feet, going fast as the speed of sound. Maybe make the controls not ass. But I just think the concept of that's cool, and I think this music really gets me energized to run. Kind of like the Daytona USA one, where it's just like, there's something about adding the extra vocals. I don't know. I think for racing games, it kind of hits.
Yeah.
But those
Sonic R's soundtrack used to be kind of hated just because lyrics, Sonic, disgusting. But I feel like over the years, people finally kind of realized, like, hey, maybe the lyrics are actually pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. It's another one of those, in a karaoke setting, I'd be fucking singing my heart out.
Karaoke at Oceanfront?
Maybe. It depends on how much time. I'd have to bring my studio monitors with me, but possible. All right, but back to the match.
Yes.
So we've got one more day before we stop the recording and move on to the next week. We've got music from a fighting game, which is funny because I literally just did a fighting game. I noticed I was doing this a lot, where I would pick a game on a pick before that, and then it would go, all right, now do it again.
But better.
So, music from a fighting game. I decided to pick one from Melty Blood Type Lumina. So, Melty Blood, as a series, banger soundtrack. I've been listening to today at work. I was listening to Actress Again OST, which is the game before this. Holy shit, there's so many bangers. But for this one, I was kind of thinking like, well, what might be my favorite game song from this game? And I was like, I really like Summer Sky. So this plays on the grassy stage, but you can technically select whatever you want. I think what I like about this song is, unlike a lot of other fighting game music, where you're really looking for that more focused, kind of dialed in song, for example, Supersonic from Sonic the Fighters. This is such a peppy and happy song. It feels more like you're in a sparring match than a full-on fight, and I think I really like that. This is one of those songs where I feel like the guitar and the piano really work well together. One kind of takes the lead and the other one kind of comes in. But it's just so bright and happy that it meshes well with the brightness of the stage. I really like this song.
Yeah, it's a very nice, calming song, but still very energetic. I watched you play this game a bit with some other people. Don't really know what's going on. I'm not really big on anime fighters, but I'm a big fan of this song.
Yeah, I definitely am playing more Melty Blood again, because after CEO, I was like, I need to get good. I want to. This is so good. I love this game. But it's weird how many times I get into a fighting game because I'm like, man, this OST slaps. Wait, there's a whole game with this? Hold up. But this song is, I don't know, it gives me very happy feelings, which I don't know. I just love that about a song where I can kind of fight to it. I think there are certain songs that you can listen to in a fighting game where you go, if I listened to this, I would always be in a good mood and I feel like I'm going to play my best. And I think this kind of matches that perfectly.
Yeah, I can definitely feel those vibes.
But I think that's about what I've got for that. I think this is one of Aoko's themes. I think she has another one called Magician's Magician's Night EX, which is also a banger. But I think out of the two, this is probably my slight preferred one. She also has the best character design of like any character. White t-shirt, jeans. Fuck you. It's a great character design. I don't know what to tell you.
Can't argue with that.
All right. But that's about it for me. Let us move on to your Day 21. Oh, it's another one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Warlord.
Warlord from Killer Instinct 2013. The third game that I reuse. It starts off super fucking slow, but the build-up is 100% worth it.
Ooh, I like the chanting.
I believe this uses Norwegian or Swedish.
Just say Nordic. You don't have to say any more after that.
Understandable.
It's much easier for your mental health.
And so you hear the chanting, and then you kind of just hear some things kind of whispering around, and it keeps picking up. And then the drum hits. It gets even louder.
Oh shit. There we go.
So the bone that you hear effect is actually like a real bone.
Really?
It used to be a common instrument in European. I forget what it's called. I heard this a long time ago. But it was a bone from an animal that was really big, and when you carve it out, it would make that kind of sound. It was a very unique sound. I like that they went through that huge effort to do that.
That's neat.
The lyrics is basically like, our god, Spinal, bring him back to help fight for us. And I just love that slow build up. Sometimes it kind of sucks to wait for so long, but I just love that it hits you so hard and it just goes so well. I love that bone backtrack that you hear. That's just very simple, but it keeps going. I love that. It also helps that I kind of remember the lyrics for this song. I used to listen to a song so much with the lyrics on like a YouTube video. I would read that constantly. I kind of remember some of the words.
I think it's got a good flow going. I think the way the instrument moves around the chants, I think that's really neat.
Also, Spino was like a skeleton warrior fighter.
Makes sense.
Understandable.
Skeleton. Understandable. Have a nice day.
So, I originally chose a different song though. Yeah. So I was like, at first I was like, I gotta do Killer Instinct 13. That game is full of bangers. But I was like, wait, I already did that. Can't do that. So I picked this song. Very close second. A lot of songs in this game sound good. The remixes are really nice. But for some reason, I really like Objection a lot.
Feels very dancey.
It does. Which I guess makes sense because you're just going to be spamming up and down looking for items.
True.
RNG, my favorite.
I love RNG.
And
Phoenix Wright being a fighter in this game is always my funniest thing. It's just like, yeah, you know who could have beaten Thanos? Phoenix Wright.
damn lawyers.
He would have put him in jail, and he wouldn't have been able to kill anybody. That is the top 10 characters strong enough to beat Thanos single-handedly. Number 9.
And so towards like the end of the list, I was moving songs around, like I keep saying, and I was like, oh wait, I have some open slots now. Warlord.
I do
like
think
instantly.
I prefer that you did pick the Killer Instinct one for Warlord, because I think the song's great, but I think the other one is kick-ass.
It is. It's also done by Mick Gordon, which helps.
I saw, yeah, that man, very talented.
Very.
All right, well, that is the end of week 3. Come back when we do week 4, and we'll probably just do like the last 3 days, so we don't end that on a sad note. With 3 days. So we'll see you next time for day 22, Ambient Music.
Let's go.